This is Weekend File on the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA. The journey of 2019 winds down in the next 3 days. How time flies, you would say, but it goes without saying that the year has been an eventful one for Nigeria and her citizens, with record-breaking achievements in national infrastructure development by the federal government. Indeed, across all geopolitical zones of the country, there are visible signs depicting the present administration's commitment to positively touch the lives of the people in all spheres, ranging from the economy, agriculture, health, education, security, as well as social re-engineering. The fight against corruption gathers momentum even as 2020 beckons. So how far did some far-reaching policies and programs of the federal government benefit the generality of the people? It's stock-taking on Weekend File tonight as we deal on informed report from the nook and cranny of the Federation. Plus, of course, insightful discussion with our guests. You are indeed welcome. I am Kene Ima Abodike. The news now. To boost the morale of troops and upscale operations in the northeast, the Nigerian Army has inaugurated a medical facility to cater for troops in the neighboring community and a transit camp at 23 Brigade Yola, Adamawa State. The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai, who performed the ceremony, knows that the facility, with the capacity of accommodating 30 personnel, will further improve the welfare of soldiers and officers while in the military camp.
And Skill Acquisition Center is expected to develop the skills of the youths and women here in the cantonment in becoming self-reliant. In the same vein, the transit accommodation will assist in facilitating the general administration of the large number of personnel deployed here in the Northeast.
Headquarters 3 Division will continue to initiate and execute various projects in its cantonments and barracks aimed at enhancing the welfare and the fighting efficiency of the troops.
Other projects inaugurated include a Skill Acquisition Center, Accident and Emergency Ward at the Gibson Jallo Military Cantonment, Yola. Detachments of operatives from the FCT Police Command and the Guards Brigade, Nigerian Army, Saturday afternoon foiled an attempted robbery of the Mpape branch of First Bank PLC in Abuja. Eliasu Onotu Yakubu reports that the branch manager of the bank was accused by the suspected armed robbers of assisting in the operation.
It was tensed for hours, and like a scene in an American action movie, the suspected armed robbers got stuck in the vault of this bank in the middle of their operations on arrival of the security operatives. It was about 9 a.m. when the armed robbers arrived at the premises of the First Bank at Mpape. Eyewitnesses say the armed robbers allegedly tied up the bank's security personnel on arrival before shooting in the air to scare people away. A quick response to distress calls by the FCT Police Command, backed up by operatives of the Guards Brigade, Nigerian Army, foiled the robbery operation.
They entered there for a security room here. The criminals enter inside. Then in told us as they seize. Now what he told us, one in begin to come out. Now the police begin to shoot gun. Now the man come run, go back.
So it was encouraging. To me, I would say at least our Nigerian police, they are trying. It's not easy. I wish they could not come immediately. Something wrong could have happened. Maybe a life could have been taken away.
The armed robbers engaged the security operatives in a gun duel for hours. In the long run, one of the robbers fell to the superior firepower of the security operatives, while 4 were apprehended. Here, one of the armed robbers is identifying the branch manager of the bank to journalists as their lead informant to the operation. The FCT Police Command, in a press statement, commended the residents of Mpape for their proactiveness, which led to the quick response and urge for calm as normalcy has been restored, stating that the Commissioner of Police has ordered the discreet investigation into the incident. In Abuja, Ilyasu Onotu Yakubu, NTA News.
Kebbi State Governor Abubakar Atiku Bagudu has visited communities in Danko Wasugu local government area in the state following a bandit attacks. Usman Abdullahi show report.
The bandits' attacks, which took place on Monday, the 23rd of December 2019 and on Christmas Day, affected more than 10 communities in Dankosogu local government area of Kebbi State that share boundary with Zamfara State. However, the bandits were said to have been resisted at Onashi, where the brave men of the Nigerian Armed Forces and local vigilante fought them for several hours to retrieve. Members of the vigilante group disclosed that the bandits killed 3 people and injured 2 others in different communities and carted away with plenty livestock, stating that efforts have been intensified to recover some animals.
Commend the federal government under the able leadership of President Muhammadu Buhari for the support they are giving to security agencies to deal with this issue. And I'm glad that people are not afraid. They are mobilized and they are willing. We are not intimidated.
He assured government determination to continue to safeguard the people. As at the time of compiling this report, normalcy has returned in the area as people who fled their ancestral home are returning. In Benue, Kebbi, Usman Abdullahi Shehu, NTA News.
And days after the release of 3 out of the 4 victims of the Katy kidnap incident, life is yet to fully return to Katy community in the Federal Capital Territory. Correspondent Ilyasu Onotu Yakubu reports.
Katy is practically a ghost town now, and the few residents of the community staying behind say they now live in perpetual fear of the unknown. Though joy envelopes the affected households for the safe return of their loved ones, but their harrowing experience have made them desert the houses. Even this uncompleted building, serving as the only security spot for the community's vigilante, is now locked up. Esther Phillips' spouse is amongst the released victims, but says her family is still struggling to come out of the shock of the incident.
He's now on treatment.
But for you as a family, how has the experience been like for you people?
It's so shock. It's not an incident to experience. Even though my enemy, I don't wish it for my enemy.
Joseph Uzochukwu's family is, however, not so lucky yet. He is still in captivity, with the kidnappers demanding for 4 million naira ransom, while the nursing wife and other family members have left the house since the incident.
They came because of him and the other man that was able to escape that night. So when the kidnappers are now saying that the man should bring the sum of 4 million naira, which the family have raised up to 3.5 million, but yet we have not had the result about being released from the captivity.
The traditional ruler of the community is appealing to the authorities to come to their aid by ensuring security presence in the community.
We have no outpost and we took the report to Kabuza Division so that DPO will take action on that. Up to now, we are still standing.
The chief expresses hope that life will soon return fully to Katy community. Ilyasu Onotu Yakubu, NTA News.
Extra vigilance and interagency collaboration of the law enforcement agencies in Anambra State is the reason behind the reduction in traffic gridlock witnessed at Niger Bridge axis and adjoining roads this Yuletide. Uchenna Wokoye has an update from Onitsha.
Unlike the usual experience of heavy gridlock on the Niger Bridge where commuters sleep on the bridge, there was free flow of traffic this Yuletide. This is because the Federal Road Safety Commission and other security agencies were resolute in their determination to deal with any act that will obstruct traffic flow. The Corps Marshal Boboye Oyeyemi had visited Governor Willie Obiano where they agreed that the traffic manager should minimize the checking of particulars for the traffic to flow.
And I want to appeal to the public to use the toll-free number 122. If you see any broken down vehicle or peradventure you see a crash, Just dial 122 and report. I assure you within 15 minutes, you will see immediate response.
In the same vein, the police in the state also ordered the dismantling of all obstruction at the checkpoints. The State Commissioner of Police, John Abang, personally monitored to enforce compliance.
My visit here is basically to ensure that no problem is caused by security agencies at the entrance of Anambra State at the bridgehead on the
Other reasons for the free flow was the installation of traffic lights at the major junctions along the Onitsha-Enugu Expressway and a specific order for the arrest and prosecution of those who beat traffic lights by the State Governor Willie Obiano.
We've spent money to install traffic lights in 80 locations. You must obey the traffic light. The governor obeys the traffic lights.
In the meantime, the security agencies in the state have intensified their patrol to ensure that there is no breakdown of law and order as the celebration continues. In Onitsha, Uchenna Nwekoyo, NTA News.
Of course, this Yuletide, the Federal Road Safety Corps is carrying out alcoholic tests on drivers nationwide to ensure they are fit for the job. The exercise begins at the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway.
It has been said that one of the reasons for increase in road crashes during festive periods is drunkenness. To curb this ugly trend that has claimed lives over the years, the Federal Road Safety Corps deemed it fit to randomly conduct alcohol level tests for drivers using breathalyzer and alcoholista.
This one is disposable alcoholizers. It's on the spot. As soon as you just blow air into it correctly, then we'll discover the alcoholic level in you. If it entails where you can still manage to drive, we'll allow you to drive. Once it surpasses the normal level, which is 0.08, then you are not allowed to drive any longer. You have to impound your vehicle and look for another vehicle to carry on with your passengers.
We are going to continue with the pact we have with the BSG group. From now till even up to February, we have already mapped out how we are going to go from one motor park to the other in Lagos State to continue this sensitization exercise.
Some of the selected drivers on the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway tested negative and were allowed to continue their journey.
Correct. Nothing.
Towards making the highways safer during the Yuletide, the Federal Road Safety Corps mobilized more than 30,000 personnel, patrol vehicles, ambulances and motorbikes along designated routes. In Lagos, Annie Daniels, NTA News.
Now, the 2019 edition of Carnival Calabar was at its peak this Saturday as host Governor Ben Ayade led others in a colorful display of culture. Paul Abel reports.
With the theme Humanity, Carnival Calabar 2019 is a platform to fight against man's inhumanity to his fellow man.
Human beings are becoming animals and animals are becoming humans. So it's time for us to come to that situation where we'll agree that today we have a restaurant that is authorized to sell human beings, human parts. We are getting too fast as animals. We need to end it.
This is the only way possible you can promote culture, you can promote tourism.
We are all humans, and if we must preach humanity, we must express it.
The 5 competitive bands, Bayside, Seagull, Passion 4, Freedom, and Master Blaster, as well as non-competitive bands, all interpreted the theme with creative costumes and breath-savoring performances.
After this section, I want you to sit tight. Woo! We said it! Do not try this at home. This is rated.
Other countries, including Turkey, Bangladesh, Kenya, Ghana, among others, also added strength to the call to respect human life through their performances. In Calabar, Paul Abel, NTA News.
Elsewhere, we join Musbau Dan Wahab again to give us more updates on the runoff election in Guinea Bissau.
Party supporters were back in the frenzy of election anxiety, visibly overshadowing the excitement for the Christmas and New Year festivities. The political gladiators are now fewer, but the contest is tougher. The poll could not end at the first round on November 24th as no candidate secured the 50% and 1 vote required to emerge winner. The battle line is now drawn between the 2 leading candidates, former Prime Ministers Domingo Simões Pereira and Umaru Sissoco Embalo. And as the party loyalists show support for their respective candidates, what bothers Ruiz Almada is when peace will finally return to the political landscape of Guinea Bissau. It is also the hope of the head of the ECOWAS observation mission that the outcome of this election will return the country to the path of development.
We want stability, we want peace for going to the next level, as President Buhari said, the next level meaning development for the country.
Runoff election is not new to the Guineans, as elections have historically been resolved over 2 rounds. However, the memory of the 2012 coup d'etat in days before a second round of election calls for caution.
The military clearly stated that they are not interested in politics and they stay back and they stay to protect the democracy. That I think with that we are moving in the right direction, that the repeat of 2012 will not come to it.
The ECOMIP, a stabilizing force of ECOWAS, says intelligence reports favors conduct of election this Sunday. In Bissau, Muspal and Wahab, NC News.
It's just 3 days to go. What are some of the major events that shaped the outgoing year on the chart of development at the federal level? Our correspondents were really busy on the field, and a lot was brought back for you tonight, but that will be after this break.
Easy motion.
Christmas, Nigeria. Glow Unlimited.
It is another morning. Not just an ordinary time. Start of a new day. A new beginning. As you prepare everyone for the long day ahead, just anything is not enough. It is only you who makes breakfast special. You make them creamy. You make them tasty. You add vitamins and nutrients we need for a delightful, healthy start to the day.
So start your day right with Hollandia Evap.
Hollandia Evap. Life tastes different. Hollandia.
On behalf of the Governing Council, management and entire staff of the Industrial Training Fund, I wish to extend our profound appreciation to all stakeholders whose contributions, individually and collectively, ensured the landmark achievements we recorded as an organization in the outgoing year. Our special appreciation goes to the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria for putting in place policies that challenged us to unprecedented levels of performance. The National Assembly, the organized private sector, state governments, and other key stakeholders also played vital roles in ensuring that we we delivered on our corporate targets, especially in the implementation of our technical skills acquisition programs that benefited over 450,000 Nigerians. In the coming year, we will redouble our efforts to proffering cutting-edge services to our esteemed stakeholders and develop programs nationwide to reduce unemployment and create wealth. I wish you a Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year. Sir Joseph N. Ari, KSM, Director General, Chief Executive, Industrial Training Fund, Announcer.
Wake up, wake up, nothing can hold us down. Get up, born to wear the crown.
Breakfast your day, every day.
Nestle, good food, good life.
What's football without banter? We love banter. All kinds of banter. Like the banter from a safe distance.
We go beat in a later.
There's the "this is still my house" banter.
Dad, 4-0 isn't so bad.
It's not as bad as 0-0.
I know you're only calling to banter.
It's just someone
bad belly banter.
Your team can't even score an own goal.
Dry banter.
I beg, take Joe. This is the only cup your team will be winning this season.
And then there's that. Better banter. Whatever the banter better with Coca-Cola, the official soft drink partner of the English Premier League.
Treat your family to a cereal that's made from the natural goodness of maize and soya protein and specially combined with Grain Smart, a smart combination of vitamins and iron, so that they have the right kind of energy to help them reach their full potential and turn the simple into amazing. Eat up and carry go, because nothing do you. Golden Morn, make every day amazing.
Nestle, good food, good life.
What we are really cultivating here is a better future for all Nigerian women, and it's not always easy. Panadol Extra relieves headache, backache, joint pain, toothache, and menstrual pain. The pain is worth it.
Welcome back. 2019, indeed a busy year for the construction industry as the federal government embarks on infrastructural revival. Chika Ogu takes a look at the southeast zone of the country in this regard.
The importance of critical infrastructure to any economy cannot be overemphasized, which is why successive governments have continued to invest billions of naira on infrastructural developments. In the previous administrations, despite the huge investment in infrastructure, Nigerians are still contending with deplorable roads, epileptic power supply, among others. However, there has been massive road rehabilitation and construction in the last 4 years by the present administration. In Enugu State, for instance, the upgrade and rehabilitation of the Akanu-Ibiam International Airport is in progress. Meanwhile, the federal government has provided palliative by fixing the Enugu-Port Harcourt Expressway for easy access to Owerri Airport. Also, some major federal roads in the state are being constructed, like the Oji River axis of Enugu-Onitsha Expressway, Old and New 9th Mile Opi-Nsuka Road.
Amansi Road is very good now. They work on it now, well.
However, the Ugwu-Onyama 9th Mile axis of the state, which is still in a deplorable state, has caught the attention of the federal government as work will commence soon.
The contract will be awarded. The contractor on the adjoining section of the road to carry out palliative works so that people from Enugu State and road users in general will have a smooth passage.
In Anambra State, motorists are elated with the recent massive road rehabilitation in most federal roads.
The work is going on well. You can see what is happening between Omonia and Amobia. I want to thank His Excellency, the President of Nigeria, for coming to our rescue.
With the steady ongoing work at the second Niger Bridge, travelers are experiencing hitch-free rides to and fro the southeast.
In terms of the present administration of Muhammadu Buhari making positive intervention in area of provision or improvement of infrastructure, social infrastructure in the southeast zone. I would really say yes, they are doing well.
Quality education has continued to be one of President Muhammadu Buhari's led administration's benchmark. To this end, most federal government schools are wearing facelifts with new structures and conducive learning environments. In Enugu, Chika Ugu, NTA News.
Lagos-Ibadan Expressway remains one of the busiest roads in Nigeria because of its link to the commercial nerve center of the country. But what was the federal government's attention to this trunk A road in the outgoing year? Here is Dayo Ogushala with a report.
Road is the major mode of transport in African countries, which represents a critical element for economic development. Perhaps this reliance has led to huge budgetary allocation in the infrastructure, leading to various roads construction in Nigeria. Lagos-Ibadan is one of the focus of the current government, with high hope of benefits when finally completed.
Produced from the north and beans are not evacuated and then coming down here to distribute it. Definitely people will not have, the majority of people will not have access to money, and therefore it will affect the economy of the country. So also all the things that are entering this country through the seaport is being distributed through this one. Therefore, the economy is being boosted by this road. So federal government is making sure that this road is in good condition.
The 127-kilometer roads awarded in 2013 attracted renewed commitment from the federal government since 2015. The road has continued to play a critical role in connecting Nigeria to other parts of the world. Even with the review of the earlier contractual agreement, which had increased the terms of reference and scope of the road, it was gathered that the project completion is put at 44%, while asphalt lane has covered 45 kilometers on each of the two lanes as at the end of 2019. On completion, Nigerians rated the socio-economic benefits high.
It's advantage because the road will bring many ways of economy.
You can see this we have now is even enhance people to move much more faster, and the road is even much more okay. Applying this road several times, the potholes and several roads, bad roads. But look at it now, everything is going on fine, vehicles are moving, everybody is moving.
There's no accident, transportation very fast, and we go to where we were very early.
As the Nigerian government continues its aggressive infrastructural drive to fix most of the major roads in the nation for economic buoyancy, it is certain that Nigerians are on the same page with government. But like Oliver Twist, they are asking for more. From Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, Dayo Ogushala, NTA News.
Fight against corruption is one of the three areas the present administration beams its searchlight on. Suleiman Yaji in this report takes stock of the efforts in this fight.
Outset of his administration, President Muhammadu Buhari pointed out that if we do not kill corruption, corruption will kill us all. The belief has defined his administration's approach to the fight against corruption, which is waged through the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission as the arrowhead. Indeed, the anti-graft agency's renewed vigor is yielding results, as testified to by the conviction of 3 former governors for crimes committed while in office, numerous cash recoveries and asset forfeitures. Contrary to erroneous beliefs that corruption takes place only when money exchanges hands, Hafiz Ismail Oladipo, a financial expert, sees corruption as a conspiracy.
Our orientation needs to change. Fighting corruption is not something the government will do alone. Fighting corruption is something that deals with everybody, even right from your nuclear family, right from the small place where you work. Because it's from one place that the thing begins to generate.
Legal experts applaud the federal government for the administration of criminal justice, which they describe as upholding the rule of law and strengthening the judiciary.
Before now, people just take money and run away, and you'll be chasing them all over the world. You can't find them until you forget about the case. But that is not the case now. So I think corruption in Nigeria and globally is really receiving the attention it deserves.
Take, for instance, healthcare services. The body language of the President Muhammadu Buhari-led administration has galvanized civil society, community leaders, and organizations to forge an alliance that will enable them oversee the 1% Consolidated Revenue Fund by the federal government for the provision of quality healthcare services at primary health cares across the country.
This cannot go to the grassroots without advocacy, message to enlighten them on the activities of primary health care so that they will know their right.
Mindful of the destructive impact of corruption in any society, the United Nations, by Resolution 58-4, designated December 9th as International Anti-Corruption Day. Abdullahi Suleimani Yaji, NTA News.
We now take you to the northeast, the epicenter of Boko Haram activities. As the year 2019 winds down, Marijanatu Hassan gives a situation report.
It has been 10 years now since Boko Haram crisis erupted in the northeastern Nigeria, with Borno being the epicenter of the crisis. In the decade-long crisis, thousands of lives were reportedly lost, communities devastated, or overrun, compelling residents to flee for safety, while socio-economic activities crippled.
Compared with what was happening in 2015, there is a lot of improvement. But now, with what the president did, he has improved the situation.
We know they are trying, the security and the federal government and all of them, they are trying. But we need them to try more.
Last year by this time, the security was so tight that people are not allowed to go about their normal duties, especially during this festive mood. But now, since we see traffic is going on, no disturbance so much.
Absolute peace has been maintained within and inside the environment of Maiduguri Metropolitan. There were no fears, no threats, no security restrictions.
You would recall that in the past, it was impossible for you to travel to Monguno, to travel many areas. So there's a significant improvement, but then we must continue to acknowledge that there are still challenges.
However, major military occupation in 2015 and contributions of youth with formation of civilian joint task force has yielded a remarkable result in reducing the menace of the insurgency.
The security agencies have put in place strategies to redouble our efforts and make Borno State more secure and safer for citizenry to go about their normal activities. They should continue to provide support and cooperation to the security agencies, whilst also providing information.
Observers are of the opinion that every citizen is a stakeholder when it comes to security in Maiduguri. Marijanatu Hassan, NTA News.
Of course, coordinated efforts by security formations to restore peace to troubled communities of Benue State have yielded positive reports. Here is Charles Abba with an update.
Farmers, herders, tussles, armed banditry, communal clashes, kidnapping and other vices combined to cause loss of lives, displacement of thousands of people, and destruction of property worth millions of naira in various local government areas of Benue State, which include Kasinala, Agatu, Logo, Guma, and others. This situation led to the deployment of Exercise Ayamak Batuma and Operation Wellstroke by the federal government to the state to work with other security operatives like the Nigerian Air Force, the Army, the police, and the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps to flag down the menace. These coordinated efforts of the security formations have decimated perpetrators of the deadly crimes and brought sanity to most affected areas, one of which is Bishe in Kasinala local government area.
We are sending things accordingly. We don't have anybody disturbing us.
Business is moving fine. Everything is okay.
The level of destruction and killings that we used to see have reduced to some extent.
Commander, Operation Wellstroke, Major General Adeyemi Yekini, who described the fight against the menace as two-pronged, appreciated the relevant authorities for their contributions.
Apart from the troops that are deployed and the fighting has stopped for now, so we don't really have much of fighting again. Both the TV and the Jukons, we have also arranged series of meetings where we all work out the mortality and what we think are the root causes of the crisis and how we think we can support people to resolve the problems.
Commissioner of Police, Benue State Command, Mukadas Garba, who attested to the return of peace in the state, said the command will not rest on its oars.
Demand all entry and exit routes in the state, provide security in churches and other public places to ensure quick response to distress calls.
Director Information, Defense Headquarters, Brigadier General Onyema Nwachuku, in his assessment of the affected areas, expressed commitment to sustaining the restored sanity.
So I won't want anybody to panic in Benue State, Calabar or Nasarawa State. What is actually happening is that we have a mandate, we have a mission, and the mission fundamentally is to restore peace, safety and security. To a very large extent, that mission has been achieved.
The current relative peace has resulted in the return of internally displaced persons in government-designated camps to their ancestral homes. In Makudi, Charles Abba, NTA News.
Sanusi Musa is the National Coordinator of Nigeria Consolidation Ambassador Network, NCAN, and he is waiting in the wings to give further perspectives to some of the areas our correspondents reported on after this timeout.
What we are really cultivating here is a better future for all Nigerian women, and it's not always easy. Panadol Extra relieves headache, backache, joint pain, toothache, and menstrual pain. The pain is worth it.
You can choose to do this with your stew, but not your data. Get more out of life with the new Airtel data plans. Dial *141# today. Data is life.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
Welcome to your online ballroom dance lesson.
Nobody's perfect, but some are unstoppable. Power Horse, unstoppable you.
This na how we dey show for holiday. This na how we dey be when you don't tey you block male. This one pass decoder. This na your family groove. Totori your family this season. Go sharply arrange Go TV decoder and Go Tenor wey carry 1 month Go TV Max subscription for low body for only 6,900 naira. Go TV. Live it, love it.
What we are really cultivating here is a better future for all Nigerian women, and it's not always easy. Panadol Extra relieves headache, backache, joint pain, toothache, and menstrual pain. The pain is worth it.
We have come to the end of another successful year, and we wish to appreciate all those that mean so much to us. Our sponsors, our clients, government at all levels, corporate bodies, advertisers, religious bodies, civil society groups, political parties, and above all, you, our esteemed viewer. Together, we made 2019 great. Together, we shall make 2020 even greater. That is why we say, thank you. This is wishing you Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year.
Come back to Weekend File. Sanusi Musa, a public affairs analyst, is in the studio with us. You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Let's begin our discussion tonight by analyzing the successes recorded in the fight against corruption by the government in the outgoing year, mindful of the fact that it is one of the 3 pillars upon which the present administration was built. What is your assessment on that?
I think so far so good, and I think the government has really is closing the year with a very good plus in the fight against corruption. concerning the fact that you don't forget that just recently a chieftain of the party of the president got a conviction from a court of law, which I mean the doubting Thomases were thinking that this president is out to protect all those who join his party. Against that perception, we have seen that another conviction was recorded, which 12 years before now, the case has been lingering. And we have seen also other issues that, how, particularly at the beginning of the saga with the former Chief Justice of Nigeria, which is also another plus, because nobody thought there will be a president that will be courageous enough to have undertaken such a bold move to tackle such corruption at high place. I think so far so good, and we have seen also the prosecution of some high-level government officials presently going on by the Code of Conduct Bureau before the Code of Conduct Tribunal. All this point out to the fact that things are not as they were before, that the fight against corruption this administration is improving by the day in getting at those who have had the opportunity, who are trusted with the commonwealth of our nation, which they decided to squander for their own use. I think, and those are the things that made this administration, I mean, many people to have confidence in President Muhammadu Buhari, and I think he's delivering, and so far so good. I will rate him a very high point in that regard.
All right, still talking on the fight against corruption. A lot of people believe that the support of other stakeholders, for instance, the judiciary and, of course, the legislature is very important. What do you think?
No, I think it's important, and mark you that with the first term of the president has seen a situation whereby there was no support by the legislature in the fight against corruption.
You mean in the 8th Assembly?
Oh, yes. That was what really happened, because you know some of the bills, the creation of the anti-corruption courts bill that were submitted, it was frustrated throughout the year. It was not passed, and you have seen that how with the coming of the new assembly in 2019, the 9th assembly, the cooperation has yielded some result in that respect. For instance, with the speed with which the production sharing contract bill was swiftly passed by the 9th assembly, it shows that with the cooperation, the fight against corruption will really go places, because that is one of the areas to check corruption in the oil industry, and the passage of that bill is very there, because this is something that since 1993 we supposed to have done it in 2003. We have not done it. All the administration could not do anything from 1999 to it's when President Buhari comes, and he wanted to do it. He had no support of the leadership of the previous assembly. With the coming of the new assembly, you have seen how swiftly that has really, and everybody agrees that that will really go a long way in checking corruption in the oil industry, which has bedeviled the industry over the years. For the judiciary also, mark you, we must remember that the judiciary has made, I mean, it has shown its readiness to cooperate. You remember that there was a directive by the Chief Justice of Nigeria that to heads of court to create to assign specific judges for corruption cases, and Supreme Court went ahead to specify a day that it will hear all corruption cases, related cases, which now hitherto we have seen that any case that is related with corruption that has to do with the issue of the fight against corruption, it has a specific day that it will be heard in the Supreme Court, so it will not wait in the queue for maybe in the next 10 years for that to be had. They went further to create a particular committee which will now be monitoring the courts with regard to how they are carrying out the corruption cases that are assigned to various judges. So I think we have seen some positive support from the judiciary. With the comings of the 9th Assembly, we have seen positive support to the president and this. And I think now we need to see improvement in those areas so that before the president finished his last tenure, we'll be able to achieve more than what we've achieved in the previous years.
All right, thank you, Sanusi. But given the realities on ground, how do you score the present administration and the promise it made to Nigerians, to revive agriculture? Would you have some facts to present to us?
Yeah, of course. I'm from the far north. So for those of us from there, we know the impact of the present administration policy towards agriculture. We have seen how farming becomes attractive now. Everybody is ready to go to farm. Why? Because there is a policy which made the price of foodstuffs to appreciate. So it is now profitable to go into farming. We have seen how villagers become millionaires. We have seen how villagers, most of those from our part of the country where one of the pillars of Islam is for you to perform Hajj, but it has to be for those who can afford it. So we have seen how farmers from the villages were able to have about 1.5 million naira to perform that. So we have seen creation of millionaires in the villages. We have also seen the rise of rice mills industries because which now translate into billions of investment, which has now created jobs and which has now it has created jobs directly and indirectly. So I think so far so good, we can say that in the area the administration policy towards agriculture has really assisted, and also unlike before, farmers now, they don't need to know any politicians for them to get fertilizer. Fertilizer now is not being shared by the local government chairman and their council.
Oh, the middleman.
Yes, it's normal. You go directly and buy, and you know the prices. So because the policy now is when you go there, the government now provides the subsidy direct to the farmers. So it's not like before that you see, let's say, places like Amak. Now you see, I doubt if you have farms in Amak. But you see that, fertilizer will be allocated to Amak, the chairman, the councillor, the wife of the chairman, all people that have no business with the fertilizer.
That was in the past.
Yes, but with this new system now, you don't need to know any councillor, you don't need to know the chairman, you don't need to know a commissioner, you don't need to know a member of your assembly.
It's not business as usual.
It's not business as usual.
Okay,
so
let's quickly go to security. What do you think about tackling security challenges?
Actually, this is one area of all of us, we must admit there are challenges. Challenges because one of the porous borders we have, and we know of the crisis our neighbors had, like particularly what happened in Libya, has really made it somehow difficult to police the country. And also very, very important that people must know that the challenges met on the ground, the problem met on the ground. This is a country of about 200 million people, but you have less than 2 million policemen all over the country. And you see the big men having 10 of them with them. So we still have a shortage of the required number of people to police the country. This is also, we should give kudos to the president for his recent directive that each year we must employ now 10,000 policemen. That will go a long way in assisting in checking the security problem in the country. But we have seen improvement also in that regard, particularly those also from the northwest. We know the challenges we had, the high rate of kidnapping that has started. I think with the closure of the borders and with the commitment of the security agencies, we have now seen reduction in that spread of the crime. Of course, the people of the Northeast, you don't need to tell them. They have seen the improvement in the security situation since when this administration came into being. So I think so far so good, and I think as we go gradually, those challenges that are done that will be overcome, because those are things that are created over the years, and it will be difficult for you just to have to solve those problems over the night. It takes time, but what we really appreciate is that we have seen the sincere commitment of the president to solve those problems, and we are seeing result of that sincerity of commitment.
Okay, is that also your line on infrastructure development across the nation?
Of course, I think I have seen your report, and for those in 2014, I was in Yola. You know, when I arrived Yola, it was I was surprised to see that the airport, what we call airport, was like a motor park, you know, and that was the situation in Port Harcourt when I visited. That was the situation in Jos. But I think I was in Yola about 3 weeks ago. I have seen a different thing. I have been to Port Harcourt different times. I have seen the changes there. Places like Kano to Maiduguri, a project which started since when we were in university, is now getting to completion. The Lagos-Ibadan road, which also started when we were in university, is now getting to completion. The road from Abuja to Kano, which had become a death trap, we have seen now how the work that is going on. So many, the Abuja airport, the international wing, which has been opened, the Malamin Kano international airport that has just recently been finished, the one in Enugu, you know, a lot of them, the Borough Port, the rail project that is going on, that the Kano to Abuja to Kaduna was completed. The Lagos-Ibadan had started running a test training. Then they are going to start the Ibadan to Kano, which will cover the entire length, and another one which the Russia say will take is the one that will take from Port Harcourt to Maiduguri. You know, these are all things that we have seen commitment on this administration. We also must specifically commend the president, because hitherto what was happening was any administration that comes, what matters to it is just to give out new contracts, and that, you know, and those contracts, you know, is just about corruption, starting the work, getting some kickbacks, abandoning it. Yes, because I have seen a report as 2013 or thereabout, where it is stated that it's a report by the Federal Ministry of Works, then that the country requires about 10 trillion naira to complete ongoing projects all over the places. Those of us that live in Abuja, we are living witness to what is happening. You know, places that we never knew that there is roads before. Okay. Now they have been completed without, starting new projects, ongoing projects. That
so in other words, it's better to complete projects than to begin on new ones.
That's statesmanship.
And that's what we've seen in this administration
That's
so
what
far.
we have been seeing.
Thank you.
Projects that have been completed and there have been impact on the lives of the people.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming on Weekend File tonight.
Thank you very much.
We're speaking with Sanusi Musa, a public affairs analyst. Well, on sports updates, Olumide Eguntola brings us part 3 of our review of Nigeria sports in 2019.
Not so fast. Look, I'm tired. I want to check out of this country for greener pastures.
Just calm down for a moment. Please sit down. Do you have a job where you're going to?
No, but someone is arranging, you know...
Listen, Alenko. Checking out of this country without proper planning means one thing. Unimaginable begin. You know, I've been in the diaspora, but legitimately doing great things at home and abroad. As I've been saying, without the proper footing abroad, the risk is not worth it. Listen, Alinko, it's better to be home than be trapped abroad, or even end up in prison.
sports update is next.
Our table tennis star Haruna Quadri started the year ranked 26th, but finished as Africa's most ranked player on 20th position on the ITTF rankings, beating Austria's Roberto Garros to clinch Nigeria Open back-to-back. He also won the 2019 ITTF Challenger Plus.
Quadri is lobbying, the crowd are loving it. Carlos tries to put him away, but Arun is just there. Are they going to go around the table? No, they're not! Because Quadri Aruna is the king of this competition and the king of his continent. In badminton, Anu Oluwapo Okpayori ended the year as African champion and second best ranked player in Africa. He assisted Team Nigeria to win the 2019 All-African Senior Championship held in Port Harcourt in April. Nigeria won 4 gold, 2 silver and 1 bronze medal, while his female compatriot Dorcas Adesokan also retained her title as the #1 in Africa. As part of efforts to sustain and surpass these achievements, the Ministry of Youth and Sports Development launched its Adopt campaign initiative, driven by the Minister, Mr. Sunday Dari. Facilities, athletes and related associated logistics were adopted at an event in Lagos.
The Adopt an Athlete campaign focuses on providing support, targeted support for each of our potential medal-winning athletes. And whatever they get will be an organic relationship between the individual adopting and also the organization adopting.
Being the hub of sports excellence in Nigeria, Lagos also played host to the signing of Memorandum of Understanding between the Federal Ministry of Youth and Sports Development and Nigeria Economic Summit Group as means of solving challenges confronting the sports sector. The review of Nigeria sports in 2019 continues in our subsequent reports. In Lagos, Olumide Guntola, NTA News.
And that's Weekend File on the NTA tonight. Many thanks to you for watching. My name is Kenan Ima Abodike. As the Eurotile celebrations continue, let's hope to see a better 2020 for Nigeria. Good night.
You can follow us on all our social media